In life, we often make our plans with great thought and intention, laying out detailed steps to achieve our goals. Whether it's planning for a career, building relationships, or making decisions about our future, our sense of control can feel empowering. However, the wisdom found in Proverbs 16 verse 9 offers a profound reminder. We can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. This verse encapsulates the tension between human agency and divine sovereignty. It acknowledges that while we have the freedom to plan our lives, ultimate direction and success lie in God's hands. This balance of planning and submission reflects the dynamic nature of faith. It's a reminder that even though we might envision a certain outcome, the course we take can be shaped by forces beyond our understanding. Planning is essential to living intentionally. Proverbs itself encourages wisdom and foresight, urging us to commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. Proverbs 16 verse 3. But what happens when our carefully laid plans don't unfold as expected? The verse invites believers to trust that God has a larger, wiser plan for our lives. While we may not always understand why things take unexpected turns, there is comfort in the belief that God's will is ultimately for our good. His perspective is broader than ours, and His wisdom surpasses our own. As human beings, we often view life through a narrow lens, influenced by our desires, experiences, and fears. Yet, God sees the full picture. His steps for us might lead us down a path that challenges our assumptions or invites us into growth, humility, or deeper faith. The tension between making plans and surrendering them to God's will is not easily resolved. It can be difficult to balance ambition with surrender, striving with trust. But this paradox offers rich spiritual growth. When we actively trust God with our decisions and plans, we learn to let go of the need for complete control and acknowledge that our steps are in His hands. Consider the example of many biblical figures who made plans only to see them disrupted by God's will. Joseph planned to live a peaceful life with his family, but God's plan led him to a far different path, one that involved betrayal, hardship, and eventual leadership. Similarly, the Apostle Paul had a desire to spread the gospel across many regions, yet his journey was marked by imprisonment, shipwrecks, and detours. In both cases, God's guidance shaped their steps in ways they could never have foreseen, ultimately fulfilling His larger purpose.
What does it mean for us to embrace Proverbs 16 verse 9 in our daily lives? First, it calls us to hold our plans loosely. While we should take steps to prepare and pursue our goals, we must do so with the understanding that our journey may change. The plans we hold tightly to may evolve as God works in and through us. Second, this verse invites us to walk by faith. Instead of becoming discouraged when things don't go as planned, we can trust that God is leading us towards something greater. Faith in God's sovereignty provides peace, even when the path is unclear. Lastly, Proverbs 16 verse 9 encourages humility. It reminds us that we are not the ultimate architects of our destiny. We can only see a small portion of the landscape, while God sees the whole picture. Our plans, when submitted to His will, can bear fruit beyond what we could ever imagine. Proverbs 16 verse 9 beautifully encapsulates the tension between human effort and divine guidance. While we can make our plans, it is ultimately God who directs our steps. As we move forward in life, let us remember to hold our ambitions lightly, trust God's wisdom, and surrender to the steps He sets before us. After all, His plan for us is far greater than anything we could conceive on our own.